Welcome to this tutorial. I'm going to be showing you how to use colour tests to identify unknown compounds. These could be either drugs or cutting agents. When you come into the lab, you need to be wearing your lab coat fully done up and have your safety glasses on and over your eyes. All of the lab scripts contain COSH and risk assessment information, and you need to have read this before you start working. So everything that you're going to be using is going to be made up. So all of the unknown test reagents have been made up for you. You're just using them, and you've got the solvents that you're going to be just using. So all of them you're going to be doing in a well plate, except for A2, and A2 you're going to be using test tubes for. So there are two ways you can do this practical when you're using the well plate. You can work with one test reagent and all the unknowns, or you can work with one unknown and all the test reagents. The way that I found most efficient is to use all the unknowns and one test reagent. So that's what I'm going to show you how to do. So I'm going to use A1, which is cobalt thiocyanate, and I'm going to show you with a few of the unknowns what we're going to do. I'm going to add the test reagent. So I'm going to add a couple of drops into each well, and I'm doing this twice. So I've got three unknowns, so I've got three well plates, and I'm doing this twice because when you look at the colour chart for matching up for your identification, you'll see for A1 some that work with crystals and some work with solvent. So I've got the ones that are just A1, and I'm going to add some solvent to the other three, so we've got that as the comparison. So this one needs chloroform, so I'm going to add a few drops of that into those, and that's giving you about the same. So now I'm going to add the test reagent. So I'm going to start with the first one, and with this you've got a micro spatula, so you need to add a tiny amount. That's the first one. Second one. And the third one. So if there's a colour change, it should happen quite quickly. So I'm just going to give this plate a little swirl. So it started off pink, and you can see there's not much happening with reagent and unknown A. There's not very much happening with B. There's not very much happening with C. And it's the same for A and B when you're looking at the solvent. But when you're looking at C with the solvent, you're seeing it's changing colour. And you are going to be needing to note down all of those observations with the colour changes, and then you're going to be going to the colour chart to see when you've done all of the tests if you can identify what it is. So for A2 you're going to be carrying out this in test tubes. So for doing this you're going to add a micro spatula of each of the unknowns to the test tube. So this is just a really small amount. So the unknown is just going to be a little tiny bit on the end of the spatula. So I'm showing you how to do this for the first three. Then on the sheet it says to add a volume of each of the test reagents. So I'm going to add the same amount, so it's a pipette of all three. And then you're going to shake this for a minute. Now they've been shaken, you're going to add the next test reagent, and you're going to add the same volume. So I've got about the same in the pipette, and you can see I've added about the same. So I'm going to add that to all of them. And then you're just going to gently swirl them just that it's mixed. And then you're going to add 3 volumes of the last test reagent. So that's just going to be so you can see that I've roughly put in about 3 times of this reagent than I have with the other 2. And now let's give it a little swirl. And now with these, you'll be noting if there's any colour changes, looking at the colour chart and seeing if any of them match up. Thanks for watching, and if you've any questions, send me an email.